guys, and welcome back to our live workshop series here that we do. I'm Kimberly, and we are coming from Kernersville, North Carolina, and I'm out in my workshop, which is also my garage. And we just finished dinner up, just cleaned up everything, and we are going to get started working on the Vanity that I posted earlier in the week. So we're going to do some different things with this piece. We're going to kick it up a notch again, just playing with some different furniture this week, doing a little bit different style than what the farmhouse that you've seen a lot of. So that we have been rolling a lot of tables and farmhouse style stuff. Have a little farmhouse piece over here. So jumping around, doing some little different things because I enjoy incorporating some art into that. So you guys probably saw that we had posted this piece on our Facebook page earlier this week. And so we did this Bombay chest. And then we did the sides a little bit different, where you can see, I'm just going to pull you around there, where you can see that we I went in and changed a little bit compared to what it was. So we put some stripes on it. Very much Mackenzie Child style because of the lamp that y'all might have seen that was posted with this as well, that we had painted on our workshop live for Dixie Belle. So what you're seeing on here is the gemstone mousse. I did put the rose gold metallic on first, and then I let it cure and let it dry a little bit, and then I added the gemstone mousse on the top of it. And so I did do a layer of one and then added the other. I really like the gemstone mousse. It's very much like paint, so it's not actually like our our gilding waxes. You know, we are refabricating the gilding waxes. They're about to come out. In fact, I'm ordering them tomorrow, so they will be rolling in here as well in a couple weeks, as well as the all new all-in-one silk line from Dixie Belle. So in that particular paint line, in those particular paint colors, they have the built-in top coat in it. They also have, which is really going to be cool to those of you that are in a hurry. So it's going to be a really good one-stop paint, because you clean your piece and then you just start painting. When you paint, it also has a bleed blocker in it. So it's going to have your bleed blocker in it, and it's also going to have your top coat incorporated in the all-in-one silk line by Dixie Belle, and that will be in-house first of the year, but we will be getting that. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my phone right now. It's saying something about poor internet connection, but yet we're on a cellular service. That has never made any sense to me. If you guys can enlighten me on that, just jump right in and tell me. So anyway, so that's what we did on this piece. I did use a stencil on the side. I did take my lines off, and this is caviar in the black. Is caviar, the white is cotton. Like I said, this is the gold digger metallic, as well as the new gemstone mousse in gold gem, I believe it is. And so those are the ones, golden gem, I believe is what it's called. So this is the would you bin that we did put on here. So I am going to do something similar over here. We're not to talk about this particular piece tonight, just to kind of showcase it, show you guys what we did to it. What we're really going to be working on is let me get you up here a little bit so y'all can see, not necessarily me, but our piece. Never mind my mess in the background, because obviously I work in here. So this is the piece we're going to be working on now. And a couple of things, and I think I'm going to push this guy. Now this guy is in here curing a little bit. I did have it in my house. So yeah, I'm in my comfy clothes. Just ate a big meal. You know, just had some country fried steak and some fried potatoes and some cornbread, you know, and some soup beans in there. So just got all that cleaned up. And now I don't really feel like working, but you know, we got to get at it. So I do have a couple of pieces of Would You Bend. So I have this little piece here, which is, you can see on the vanity right in here where this piece is missing. So we are going to apply I'm going to apply the Would You Bend piece to this so that I can kind of finish that out because it looks kind of plain there. So of course I'm going to work on that and a couple of other things. So I'm going to drag this girl to us without knocking a mirror over. And then I have another piece of the Would You Bend. Now these you can order through Dixie Bella as well. Sometimes I have them in. Just depends on where you're at. There's a young lady at, at Cooper's Vintage Village, and she has some Would You Bend there. She has a pretty decent selection there if you're in a hurry and you need to get your hands on it. There are some over there. Now these I did order. This piece is going to go in here, which is going to make it just a little bit more lovely accent right there on that. So that's what I'm going to be working on with this. I did encounter, however, on this drawer, I did encounter some issues, as you can see, compared to the other drawer here. I did end up pulling the veneer off because the veneer was lifted, so I did go ahead and pull that off. Now there's multiple ways that you can go in there and get the veneer. You can use a heat gun and get you, I have found it sometimes it's a little easier to get a heat gun. I actually use my blow dryer on this, on the hot setting, and let it just sit on this and loosen the glue. And I let it sit there for a little while, and probably got myself a little splinter there. And then I come in with a razor blade, actually, a razor blade knife, and kind of get under the edge and lift it off slowly. So that's a tedious job. Just work through it. Just take your time, baby steps when you're stripping something like that. Now, when I paint this, it's going to look exactly the same, even though this veneer piece is still perfectly fine. Now, I'm not going to take it off. If I don't have to, I'm not budging it. There's a little piece here underneath that looks like it's lifting, and I'm actually, or lifted, and I pulled it off. Went ahead and pulled what was loose off of it. And then I'm going to come in with the Dixie mud and fill that in here. More than likely, you guys know me, more than likely I'm going to come in here and do this in stripes. So I'll probably do some stripes up under here, which will add a little more dimension, and I think it'll add more dimension here. I'm actually going to put an image. So I'm thinking, because I was going to, when I talked about what we were going to do on this piece, I kind of hinted along the lines of doing a little something on the sides. I'm not going to stripe it here. I'm going to stripe it in here. And I'm going to do an image on the side, I believe. At this point, that's where I'm going. And with this, another thing I'll show you. And I picked up this cute little, and they may have another one. So I picked up this really cute, there you can see that, really, really cute seat for this, because it didn't come with a seat, and it just happens to slide right up underneath there. So you guys can kind of see where I'm going with that. So in my mind, very similar to this piece over here, we're going to work in, most likely I'm going to work in black and white on this vanity. Since I have a seat that's already black and white, but don't hold me to it, because I can always pop it off at the bottom and change it out. Not sure that I will, but it's always a possibility. So these are just kind of the rundown of some things that you may see happening to this piece as we move along. I try to take still shots and put them out there for you guys. So if you have any questions on what we're doing, I can kind of help you along the way. Now tonight, I also have along this edge here, it looks a little bit like it's trying to lift the veneer. This is veneer on here. Obviously, this is probably 1920s, 1940s, let's say somewhere around in there, 2040s. And so the veneer is lifting along this edge just slightly. So I'm going to come in here, and my adhesion glue is Good Gorilla wood glue. I love this stuff, and this is what I'm going to use. I'm actually going to take a little paintbrush, and I thought I brought one out for me. So I'm actually going to take a little paintbrush, or you can use your finger, and kind of shove the wood glue up under here. and I'm gonna let it dry because I may come along this edge. You know, wood you bin comes in the little rolls as well, where you could add some little decoration, if you will, and some embellishment right here along this edge, as well as along this edge, and as well as if I was doing it that way, I would probably do all the edges, so here, here, and here, and embellish along that edge. I may use something else, but I'm not going to spill the beans on the live because I really would like for you to see the end result when I do this piece. So we're going to kick this one up a notch again like we did this piece over here because I have an image in my head that I want to do on the sides, figuring black and white stripes inside of here. You'll have to just kind of follow along. So I'm thinking right now it would be really cool in multiple colors, so you could pick any color. And again, I'm going to use our Dixie mud. I have already, before we came live, I have already cleaned this piece, and you see how pretty the wood is here. I already came in and cleaned it with our White Lightning cleaner, and I used our Scotch-Brite as well, got in here and got it good and clean. I also took a little bit of, I want to say 120 grit sandpaper because there was some fine scratches on here. If you can feel those scratches with your hand, guys, you're going to see it with your eye under the paint. So let that be just kind of a word to the wise there. If you can feel it, you're going to see it when you paint it. So I always try to make sure I can't feel any scratches in the wood so I don't see it. Now, Dixie Belle's paint is self-leveling. It'll level into some of the finer lines. But any of the deeper ones that you can feel with your hand, it's probably not going to hide that for you. So just to be on the safe side, I did come in and knock it off a little bit where it had some scratches. Again, this little piece here is going to go up on that mirror, kind of finish off where that veneer had come off of it. And I'm going to fix that. And what you can't see is down at the very edge, maybe you can a little bit here, down at the very edge of the mirror, the veneer was also lifting. I'm going to heat that and take the rest of that off and finish it as well. So those are some just little tidbit things that I'm going to have to do to this. And I am going to come in here now while I've got you guys on here. And I am going to put some of our Dixie mud on there. Let me get a little spatula thing. And I will just use... A lot of times I'll just use one of these little popsicle stick here. Paint stick stirs. And this is the Dixie mud. I have it in white. Now it comes, and if I had it in-house, I would use it. If I had the Dixie Belle in mud in black, that's what I would use because if I paint the Vanity in black, it's going to blend even easier for me when I go to paint. But I have the white, so guess what I use? I use what I have. So, I'm just going to take this, and maybe I can get you all, be a little bit difficult, but maybe we can figure this out. So I'd like for y'all to be able to see really where I'm going with this, so maybe I can lower you. Every time I try this, I always make everybody sick, and I'm sorry if I do. Just kind of lower y'all down to the level where perhaps you can see just a little bit more. Let me fix that. And not to be right in your face here, but maybe a little bit more under. So I'm working in this dark area under here, so it makes it a little hard for y'all to see. Hey, Miss Ashley. So I'm going to take the Dixie mud. I have a little bit of it, and this is what it looks like. This one happens to be white. It's like a paste. And I'm going to come in right in the bottom here. And again, let me see if I can get you even lower. Just because sometimes people are asking, you know, what do I make my repairs with? How do I make my repairs? There, we're going to get you way down. Now you guys might be able to see. So it's right up under here. And I'll pull y'all back up. It's right in this area here. So I'm going to try and fix that, and maybe you guys can see. And I do always put the mud on a little bit thick. There's a couple of spots here. So I'm going to put it on, and I always put it on a little bit thick, like I say. Sorry if you're looking at the back of my head. Hopefully not. Because when you do that, see, you can sand it back and have a little bit to play with. that makes any sense. So I put it on more than I need so that I can kind of mold if there's a spot that needs a little bit of extra help. So it's really, really, really simple. This side is perfect. I don't even have to worry about it. But on this side, there was a couple of chunks missing of the veneer. And so that's how I fixed that. Now, when this dries, now it's cold here in North Carolina, but when this white dries, it'll dry super, super hard. And now you can see up under where the mirror is there, you can see where I was taking some of our veneer off that was lifting. If it's lifting, take it off. The best thing you can do is get it out of your way, and once you do that, I do come in with a little bit of sandpaper and sand where that old glue was so that I have a nice clean surface to work with. And that's pretty much all I do on that. That's all the prep. I don't have to, put a primer or anything like that in there. Just sand it a little bit smooth. Make sure that you're kind of getting that old wood glue off that was holding the veneer on. And that's the same thing I will do with the wood box that we have here. And that's the same thing I will do with this wood box. So I would come in and I will sand this a little bit just because there was glue here. Get it nice and smooth. And then when I put my paint on, it will match better and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to take you back up now, hopefully. You'll probably see a big mess in my garage because you see all that junk in the background. Yes, I've got not as much work in the background as I've had in the past because I've kind of trying to clean it out. So sorry for the bobble, but I got you up here so you can see now. So there we got the Dixie mud on. I'm going to let that cure. That does take a little while to cure because we are in cold country, if you will. So it's going to be a little bit on the cold side and take a little bit longer to cure. And then I am just going to come in here. For some reason I thought that I had, let me see real quick here, if I happen to have out here on the deck with me, let's see, a little paintbrush. Let's see. I got a little bitty one here, but I think this was used as a little wax one, so let's not use that one. Normally I have one out here. I thought I brought it. I bet I left it on my way out the door. So anyway, I'm just going to cruise along and got me a towel here where I can wipe it off. I'm just going to put the glue. So now I'm going to come in with the wood glue. So I did tell you before, my glue of choice is the Gorilla Wood Glue. And you can use whichever you like, but this happens to be my preference. And I'm going to come right along this edge, because to me this is going to be a decorative edge, but I don't want the veneer lifting. I don't want any, if there's any veneer that's lifting, I want to make sure that I've got it down. And so I'm going to come in here all along this edge and kind of push my wood glue up under the edge. Now, Gorilla Wood Glue dries clear, and you can sand it as well. And trust me, if your veneer is not, I just see that the edge has been sanded or lightly raised. This is what I do. I don't know. It's just a preference of mine. I don't like for anything to go out after I've painted it and have to worry about anything lifting or coming off. That would just really bother me. So I try not to let anything go out that might have an issue. So I do come in with my wood glue, and I just kind of try and shove it up under that edge. And like I say, if there's anything moving around, you can kind of clean it up and kind of seal it. Because you want to seal, you want to seal that before you paint it. Because you'll see it and it can still lift on you. So even though it looks like a mess, I'm just going to come in here and see this piece right here feels like it's moving more than the other side. So it is. And I don't want to break it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this glue up under there. just very, 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 very minor section here, but it's enough to bother me, so if I see it, it's not gonna leave with it like that. So I'm gonna do this whole section along here just to be on the safe side, because see, I can see it kind of coming up. This is why I was thinking I would put the, so I don't want to pull it off completely because it's just a little tiny section that you can feel. And a lot of people I've seen just paint right over that, but in my case, I will not. I will make certain that it's on, because I want my work to last a long time. So I just kind of come in and do a little extra step, and that's putting that in there. Let's see if I happen to have some tops. Let's see. Looking for a little different rag. Let me grab one real quick while I'm talking to you guys. Definitely want to have that on here. I had to step in the house a moment. Sorry about that. I did not bring out my mist bottle. So I am going to take my mist bottle because that glue, sorry about that, y'all, because that glue is kind of water-based as well. And I'm going to clean any of the big chunks of the glue that I have left on here off. I don't want any chunks, but any that's sticking out that I can see. So I'm wetting my cloth, moving it around, and cleaning up my mess, but making certain that I got it up underneath that lip. So that's how I clean mine up. Everybody can do it. You do it a different way. But this definitely is cold out here. So it's going to take a little bit longer for it to cure. This Gorilla Glue works relatively fast though. So sometimes you have to do these steps, even though I know that you can just paint over stuff. In my case, I don't do that. I try not to. I really like for my work to go out and know that my piece is going to last. Whoever gets this vanity at the other end of the line is comfortable, and I know in my head it's going to last them for a long, long time. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to clean up my mess and work my wood glue just where it needs to be, and only where it needs to be, and not all over my vanity. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and clean it up. So I've got it worked in to all the edge, all along the edge. And that'll seal it down, which is important. I'm going to come in here and work this, because obviously I'm probably going to come in and embellish along this edge, and I just want to make sure that my glue is underneath the veneer and is holding it down nice and tight. Everywhere else you can tell. Normally I can just touch the top of a table or whatever it is, and you can hear where it's solid versus where it's loose. And see, you can see there. You can see it's up underneath. So when it dries, it will hold it in place, and I won't have to worry about it lifting. And like I say, I'm pretty sure I'm going to come in along this little edge with an embellishment, but I'm going to kind of keep it quiet because I'm not really sure what I'm going to use, but I think I have a pretty good idea. So I'm going to glam this one up. So that probably gives you a good idea. If I said I'm going to glam it up, this is going to have some glam to it. I don't know. This vanity speaks to me as a Dolly vanity, or a Marilyn Monroe vanity, something like that. So I'm kind of toying with that idea, because this is obviously a lady's vanity. It's very delicate, it's intricate, it has lots of curves going on with it, and both of those ladies had all of that going on for them. So that's what I'm leaning toward with this vanity. It just kind of speaks that to me. I did a Marilyn Monroe dresser for my sister, and she loved it, and I did it in black and gold actually. And she has it in her home, and that's what I'm leaning toward on this one. I'm leaning toward a glam vanity, if that makes any sense. Most of the stuff I do is very farmhouse, but I'm thinking a glam vanity, especially since we just finished this chest behind us with this more glam. So that's what I'm doing on this piece. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add the Would You Bend. I don't know if I'm going to add it tonight because it is cool out here, but we're going to apply this little embellishment to the top of the mirror. And then we're going to embellish with the longer piece. And remember, all you do is take a blow dryer and heat this, and I'll be able to bend it right here. I want to measure from here to here so that I make sure my measurement, that I have it directly in the center. And so this little embellishment piece is going to be here, and I will glam that out like I did on the piece behind me. So stay tuned as we go along, and we will... I'll try to show different aspects of this piece as we go. And you'll have to check in with us next week at 7 p.m. on Tuesday evenings, because I know y'all are getting prepared for the holidays. If you guys are like me, we're all baking and getting things ready. And I know y'all are very busy with your days and your evenings. So I appreciate you jumping on here with me tonight. We will shoot some pictures out and keep your interest as we go along, and I hope you guys are enjoying your holiday time with your family. And with the COVID and everything that's going on, obviously it's going to be different for all of us, but hang in there, guys. We got this, and we'll see you on the other side of the weekend. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you, Miss Ashley, and all of you who jumped on with us this evening. Stay tuned to see how this glam van turns out. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.